The Walt Disney Corporation began in the 1920s and over 8 decades has made a deep impact in the entertainment industry. It has become a huge conglomerate, only second to Time Warner, owning and controlling many of the media channels such as all the ABC channels, ESPN channels, Disney channels, and is a major shareholder in Pixar. Clearly, with the ownership of all these channels, Disney is able to dictate what content is displayed to viewers on television. With this power, Disney has been able to spread its message on a global level and help shape a new global culture that is entrenched in capitalism and patriarchy. Disney's official website outlines the political and ethical aims and concerns of their corporate platform. The aims consist of 1. Act and create in an ethical manner and consider the consequences of our decisions. 2. Champion the happiness and well-beings of kids, parents, and families in our endeavors. And 3. Inspire kids, parents, employees, and communities to make a lasting positive change in the world. In Disney's safety and security standards, the only concern is the depiction of smoking in their products. Disney sees itself as creating the moral youth of tomorrow, yet there are no highlighted concerns pertaining to gender inequality, power inequality, or patriarchy. According to Arts, animation is stronger in conveying ideas to its audience because of a greater level of connection with the audience and a heightened sense of stimulation. These attributes accelerate the unconscious decoding and assimilation of embedded messages. According to Stuart Hall, media messages are impregnated with presuppositions and practices which yield our daily perceptions of reality, a process known as encoding. Decoding is the process where the audience unpacks these presuppositions and practices and either assimilates or rejects these coded messages through critical thinking. Disney, being such a dominant conglomerate, allows its writers and animators to encode the company's conceptions of femininity, masculinity, body image, gender roles, and gender inequalities into the content that young male and female viewers will decode and assimilate into their notion of femininity or masculinity. Disney's mass influence has allowed them to depict what traits are to be ascribed to men and women on a global scale, as a depiction of traits is consistent in all Disney movies. Female protagonists are typically hypersexualized, slim or tiny-waisted, well-bosomed, and long-haired beings. These characteristics Disney ascribes to be true beauty, which becomes the standard that many young females attempt to achieve. These hypersexualized traits appear to be the only beneficial skills or aspects necessary for females to live a fulfilled life. Conversely, dominant male Disney characters are hypermasculine, showing a great strength and overly developed musculature. These unrealistic depictions are unhealthy to the young boy because failing to have such a body image can lead to feelings of insufficiency and deceiving youth into believing they are less of a man or more like a woman. Mulan is a great example of distorted body images. When she goes through military training, she never acquires masculine physical traits, a complete distortion of reality. When in fact, if a woman undergoes military training, there are phenotypical changes including increased muscle mass, which is a male trait. Disney omitted these physical transformations to maintain the constant physical traits of women. Disney further differentiates between the genders by ascribing different emotional and mental traits to each gender. Women are meant to be
graceful, polite, delicate, refined, poised, punctual.
Men want girls with good taste,
Obedient,
who work fast-paced, with good breeding and a tiny work.
For a company claiming to be accountable for its decisions, Disney does little to advance women's rights and gender equality when it portrays women as being secondary to men. Men are never characterized as vulnerable or emotional since these traits are ascribed only to females. This stigma perpetuates the idea that men are supposed to be tough and always dominant.
Mr. I'll make a man out of you. You must be swift as the coursing river, with all the force of a great typhoon.
Disney has maintained the notion that when a woman finds their prince charming, they will live there happily ever after, which perpetuates male dominance. This storyline depicts women as less competent than men, and their dreams cannot be fulfilled without the assistance or marriage to a man. By encoding such themes, the concept that a woman needs to find her prince charming in order for her to be successful perpetuates male dominance and patriarchy.
That's all I want for you, sweetheart. To meet your Prince Charming and dance off into your happily ever after.
The mother figure in most Disney movies is either non-existent or dead, which allows for the living environment of these princesses to be male-dominated. This is a recurring theme in these movies, though some movies that incorporate a mother figure depict her as being secondary to a man or containing male traits.
Mulan, you dishonor me.
Cinderella, another Disney princess, is raised by her stepmother, who's depicted as having masculine traits such as requiring obedience and being a dominant figure. This outlines the issues of gender inequality between an oppressed princess and a patriarchal parent.
You want me to be the bad guy? Fine. Now I'm the bad guy.
Disney has done a great job in influencing the way children view acceptable gender roles that will eventually be mimicked in their reality. With a strong emphasis on gender differences and inequality, Disney is perpetuating these ideas. For instance, scenes in where men's dominance is reinforced by belittling women in a socially unacceptable manner, such as in Princess and the Frog.
You know how long it took me to save that money?
Exactly. Which is why a little woman of your background would have had her hands full trying to run a big business like that. You're better off where you at.
Gender and power inequality can be viewed in Mulan as well.
Silence! You would do well to teach your daughter to hold her tongue in a man's presence.
Even though Mulan is seen as an honored citizen and a hero of the war by the end of the movie, she's only fulfilled when she's reunited with her man. Cinderella is another Disney movie showing absolute male dominance, as when the ball is hosted for the prince, all the beautiful women of the country come to display themselves to a single man, and yet he seems uninterested in anything they have to offer. These gender and power inequalities have been delicately encoded under a facade of innocence and animation in order to influence young viewers' realities.
To the garden where the flowers speak, and the path twists and turns under your feet. And if you want to get where you want to go, you have to run.